Welcome everybody to another vlog. I know it's been like over a year since my last one, but recently I went on vacation to Tokyo and I am super excited to show you guys my journey on what it was like there. There is so much in Tokyo to go through, but considering we only had like about a week to spend here, we didn't really get to do very much, but we were able to make the most of it, and I hope you will enjoy the journey. We didn't do very much as soon as we'd arrived. We just dropped off our stuff at the hotel and rest for the first night. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to get any rest on the plane anyway. So for our first day, we just started by walking around the city, getting confused by the incredibly confusing transit system. I don't know how anyone here can understand where to go. It's honestly impressive. Our first stop is Akihabara. Don't know if I pronounced that right. An area filled with places to shop for lots of merchandise. I'm no anime or manga person, but you can only imagine how much there is to look through. We got here in the morning, so it doesn't look busy. But at night, oh boy, good luck with those long lines. However, the most exciting store we went into was Don Quijote, the biggest store in Japan. Unfortunately, no pictures allowed in there, but basically, it's Walmart, but Japanese. There was also a maid cafe in there, which we didn't go into, but I totally would have went in there if I could. We kind of just hung out in this area during the morning, bought some stuff, and then came back at nighttime. And I wasn't wrong, it got 10 times busier. But my sister wanted to come back here to buy more stuff. I couldn't resist, we wouldn't come back here afterward. At the end of the day, I came home with several Sanrio hoodies. And overall, quite a busy first day. But trust me, this is just the beginning. There's a lot more we've explored. We only went to one place yesterday, but we'll be visiting several locations today by the help of our tour guide. By the way, if you are very well educated in Japanese culture and I get any of this wrong, my bad. There's a lot we did and I'm trying to get myself together. Our first stop was the Sensoji Temple in Asakusa. This is Tokyo's oldest temple and it contains omikuji stalls, which are fortune tellers. I ended up getting a neutral fortune, so nothing good, nothing bad, so I'll accept it. I'd much prefer it over a bad fortune, like what my sister got. And yeah, once again, many small stores to get many souvenirs, and I ended up getting a bracelet for good luck. Currently, we're inside the main temple, where we can drop money in and make wishes. So, I'm sure it's not always this busy, but we ended up arriving to Japan nearing the end of Golden Week, which is a period of public holidays, which is a relatively common time for tourists to be here, which is why it's hella busy. If you can see over there, that's the Tokyo Sky Tree. We'll head to that momentarily. After a quick skim around, we made it to Sky Tree, which is Japan's tallest building. We didn't spend much time here, would have loved to get into it, but it'd probably take 5 years. We also stopped at Tsukiji Market, which primarily consists of seafood. Because we had many places to go through, we didn't spend too much time here. We just walked around, had some sweet potato chips and some ice cream. Again, busy. After that, our next stop is rather quiet, or at least the walk to it is. Up ahead is the Meiji Shrine, dedicated to the Emperor Meiji. There are places to write wishes and drop money into the temple, which I can't show because no pictures in that area. There was also some sort of event happening while we were there. It might have been a wedding. I really wanted to buy a souvenir here, but my mom didn't want me to splurge, which is probably for the best. Otherwise, really nice. Next, we headed to probably the most populated area we went so far, Shinjuku City, filled with many stores to go through. There is a Don Quijote here, which we did go into, but again, with how long the lines are, we can't really get anywhere. After getting through the large crowd, we stopped at one of the stores, and we got a good view of the streets, and you're about to witness how busy it truly was here. We stumbled across a Godzilla statue and a video of a 3D animated cat on one of the buildings. I would have loved for you guys to get a full experience of the cat, but okay, it looks like crap on camera, but in person it looks real. The last stop we went to was getting a good shot of the Rainbow Bridge. I like that name. That's where we just were when we were getting driven to our first stop. I'm sure the bridge looks a lot cooler at night though. We walked along the path through some Brazilian festival. Would have been fine with buying food here since we were starving, but let's stick to Japanese. At the end, there was a Gundam statue, which comes from some sort of Japanese robotic franchise. Again, we just checked it out. But would you look at that? We've already went to so many locations in only one day. I was thrilled and exhausted. Because we did so much yesterday, we decided to take it slower for today. We tried getting a bit of understanding of the confusing Tokyo train station and visited some very European-style buildings. They really reminded me of when I was in London. We continued into a nearby mall, which was far too busy, so getting some good angles was literally near impossible. But we had some lunch there. And for tonight, we had dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe. I went to the one in London too, and it was nice. Bought 2 t-shirts, and the food was great too. That's lemonade. It's not alcohol like what my mom was concerned about. So my dad had actually planned a surprise for my sister because her birthday was coming soon. He reserved a happy birthday greeting for her in the cafe. That's the dessert that showed up. Yes, my sister was surprised. Despite today being rather short, I feel like we've done enough already. I want you to brace yourself, because today we are going to possibly the most visually stunning museum I've ever went to. If you ever go to Tokyo, you gotta check this place out. It is a lot cooler to see in person than it is in video. Welcome to the TeamLabs Museum. This museum projects digital art against the walls. It has many different visual effects, and it's interactive, meaning you can physically make the art move with it. This place not only looks amazing, but it also sounds amazing, and it smells amazing too. It smells like flowers in here. The great part about these rooms is that they change every few minutes, so every time you re-enter a room, it changes. So there's probably many visuals I've missed. This rain effect is a good example of how interactive this place is. If you stand next to the wall, the rain will appear to bounce off of you, much like real rain. There's many other little rooms with their own unique visuals. You can actually touch the butterflies and kill them, which is rather cruel, but accurate? There are areas where you can see some parade of animals marching against the wall. This area projects the art on the steam, making it look like it's on the steam. There are a lot of bigger areas that are limited to only visiting for a few minutes at a time. This area distributes some sort of ornaments that illuminate across the whole room. This area reminds me of a bamboo forest, where lights project off of each rod, and you can control it. There is a control panel where you can change the weather effect. You can make it look like rain or thunder. Can I just say, I imagine or at least hope that this is what the afterlife is like, because I wish I could stay here forever. These moving orbs kind of remind me of the memories in the Pixar movie Inside Out. That's definitely not the intent, but that's what I'm getting out of this. I spotted a rainbow, just gotta throw that in there. This area is really fun. You can draw your own fish and then see it swim around in the ocean. Well, I drew a jellyfish of Timmy/Tommy from Animal Crossing, and there it is in action. Ain't that a beauty? This area is quite small, and it's rather flashy in videos. It's hard to see, but it's a bunch of cubes with images projected onto them. Next is some sort of butterfly garden. You start by going under the butterflies to going over them. This place really is a maze. After exploring for several hours, we headed out to the Pokemon Center. I'm not a fan of Pokemon myself, but I still got myself a Pikachu plush. And here's our dinner at the end. This day was definitely the best so far. Today is going to be rather short because all we're doing is transitioning hotels and moving to a different area, because for the rest of the trip, we will be spending time at Disneyland. This is actually my first time in Disneyland. I've been to Disney World before, but I don't remember anything about it. Anyway, this is the hotel area that we stayed at for the rest of the trip. The hotels here are honestly way better than the ones before. I like the area a lot. The hotel actually served a buffet, which is awesome. That's where we had dinner. At the end of the day, we saw fireworks from our balcony, which was amazing to see. It's honestly great to see fireworks in the first place because, well, you'll see tomorrow night. Here we are! We're going to be spending the entirety of today at Disneyland. This was the day I was most excited for because there's so much to explore. I haven't been to Disneyland in years, and I kind of just want to feel like a little kid again. This is only the entrance. There's already so much. Oh, and there's the castle right there. Don't worry, we'll be getting some better angles of the castle later on. The balloons here are about $20. For something that you can't even bring home, yeah, that's not worth it. So, we wanted to start our adventure by just roaming around the main area, take some pictures, and sign up for some rides ahead of time. We also decided to have some lunch so we weren't hungry for later. We had Baymax burgers, and they were honestly pretty good. There are lots of stores where we can buy some souvenirs, and of course, my parents didn't want me to splurge, which is probably for the best. The only thing I bought out of the entirety of Disney was a Disneyland shirt. But hey, at least it's something. Next, we checked out Toontown, where, man, if I was a kid again, this would be my dream. This is the kind of area where only kids can actually enjoy this place. But anyway, we were able to get pictures with Mickey Mouse, which is so cute. When I went to Disney World many years ago, we also got a picture with Mickey. So I'm happy to see the years ahead. Of course, it's not a true trip to Disneyland without going on some rides. Because of the long lines, it's really difficult to get on all of them, but we were able to get on, I at least hope, the best ones. Our first ride is Winnie the Pooh. What's interesting about this ride is that it has no railroad, we're just in a seat and it moves along the floor. This ride has lots of spinning, so if you get dizzy easily, this ain't the ride for you. Next, we went to the Pinocchio ride. It's kinda disorienting, to be honest. It's a completely different take in comparison to Winnie. Pleasure Island? Even for a kid, I don't know if this'll pleasure them. Alright, this ride was actually really cool. It's a slow ride, meaning it's longer, but I like it. This ride is called It's a Small World. As the title suggests, we're traveling across the world, but everything is all small and downscaled. We even got to see Canada, so it's like I traveled back home. I can't imagine the engineering that was put into this. It's very impressive. After that, we had dinner as a little break. It's a patty, but it's kinda small. Okay, things are going to get a little spooky. We're going into the Haunted Mansion ride. This could definitely scar a kid for life. But besides that, this ride is really well done. The effects are so cool. It's hard to see on camera, but it looks like the furniture is possessed and is floating, and they even created the illusion of ghosts. I have no idea how they did that. Only really scary thing was the ride stopped for 5 minutes and in front of me was a spider. I know it was fake, but I still didn't like it. Now that we're out of the inside, time for some outdoorsy life. On this boat ride, we're checking out some animals in nature. Okay, for like 1 second I thought it was real. Again, the craftsmanship in making these is crazy impressive. Our tour guide was giving us some detail about the scenery, and I can tell he was making jokes and being witty, but he's talking in Japanese and I don't understand a single thing he said. For this ride, I couldn't show, but this is a Star Wars ride, where we're riding a starship. Virtually. It's like one of those VR rides where the seat actually moves. It's awesome. Up next is our second last show of the night, the Electric Lights Festival Parade. This show was really cool. The colors are really fun. It's almost like getting a chance to see all of the Disney characters all at once. And I'm sure if you're at least a mild Disney fanatic, you'll recognize all the characters amongst the parade. What's weird is that there's a surprising amount of non-Japanese people that are within the parade. Usually all the people here are Japanese. This time, no. And for our finale, of course, we're gonna see fireworks at the castle. Or at least, that's what we'd hope. Unfortunately, due to weather conditions, we were not able to see fireworks, which is such a letdown. When we just arrived to Japan, it was raining, and I hoped that the weather wasn't going to be bad the whole trip. I guess it had to happen anyway. However, after the fireworks show, there was going to be a light show, where we get to see some Disney classic songs projected on the castle. Even if there were no fireworks, we were still able to get a great final show, despite the shallow fireworks as our replacement. By the way, if you've been watching the whole way through, I hope you've been enjoying Japan for the most part. This trip has been a blast. And that concludes our second last day in Japan. Today is our final day in Tokyo. Man, I'm going to miss this place, but it was worth every second. So for today, we're going to DisneySea, which is a very aquatic themed resort. And what's special about this place is that DisneySea is only available in Tokyo and nowhere else. So if you want to experience all aspects of Disney, you'll have to go to Tokyo for exclusively DisneySea. The weather today honestly feels much worse in comparison to how it was yesterday. Well, at least it didn't start raining until the night. As we were wandering around the area, there was a mini boat show riding across the waters. It's quite small, yes, but it's nice to have some fun before we get to any rides. For our first ride, we went into a submarine and went underwater. Well, not really. It's supposed to look like it's underwater, but it actually isn't. They're just projecting bubbles against the window to create the illusion that it is. I didn't fall for it though. Okay, maybe I did. What's the most aquatic themed Disney movie? Finding Nemo, duh. Similar to the Star Wars ride we did yesterday at Disneyland, we went with Nemo into a submarine, and there's a lot of movement in the seats to really make it feel like we're really riding the submarine. I couldn't show the actual ride, but it was fun. As we are transitioning to other areas of DisneySea, we're going to be checking out the Indiana Jones ride later on, along with some of their buildings. We also got to get pictures with Mickey Mouse again, which is great. It's not Disney without Mickey, am I right? There was also another area that's very aquatic themed and fitting for the resort. We decided to check this place out first while we were here. This area is the Mermaid Lagoon, and visual-wise, it looks amazing. But this place is definitely an only kids area. The rides are very small and not long-lasting, but at least I got to ride a jumping jellyfish for 30 seconds. But really, this place was a nice, colder area in comparison to when we were outside. There was a restaurant, shops, and some places for dessert, which was great because I was burning. Since we were anticipating that the Indiana Jones ride would take a bit of waiting time, we're continuing on and checking out the rest of the area while we wait. The ride that we're checking out before we get to Indiana Jones, this ride is called Sinbad's Storybook Voyage, based on the story Sinbad the Sailor. I have absolutely no idea what it was about, but the ride is really cool. It kinda reminds me of the It's a Small World ride we did yesterday. A slow and long ride, but I enjoyed it. Just like my opinion on It's a Small World, I'm very impressed with all the moving characters. I like that we get to take our time admiring the work. Time for the opposite of slow and long. We're now riding the Indiana Jones ride, and as I've stated, it's gonna be fast. The funny thing about this ride was that I wasn't sure when to expect them to take a picture of us on the ride. You know how when rides have cameras and you just see yourself screaming? When I saw my picture of myself, I was covering my face with my phone because I was trying to get pictures. and before the big show, we had dinner. It's chowder. We did it. It's time for the very final light show before the end of the day. So it's kind of hard to tell, but it is raining right now, so of course, we're not going to get the full experience of actual fireworks. At least they were able to make it work despite the weather. But really, I should call myself lucky. The weather forecast originally said that it was going to rain all week, but it only actually rained on the first and last day we were in Japan. I guess that's not too bad. Because of the rain, we had to hide under a building because we didn't have umbrellas. But we still got a great view of the show anyway, so it's all good. Actually, you know what? I think the rain still makes the show more fun. It is DisneySea after all, so it makes sense for there to be more water. Because it was our final event in Japan, I wanted to make this last area count. I was almost too sad to see it end. But overall, I've had lots of fun here. I just wish we could have gone at a time where it was less busy, and I would have loved to stay in Japan for longer. We couldn't really ease into the Japan time zone because we had barely any time to rest. Every single day, we were always doing something, and I would have loved if we had more time to rest in between. As we're nearing the end, it's time for me to say thank you so much for watching. If you've been watching this all the way to the end, I truly hope you've enjoyed seeing my trip in Japan, and I'm happy to have brought you along on the journey. This has been the most exciting trip I've ever went on, and I'd totally go again, because there's so much that we couldn't explore. One day, I'll go to Japan again, and I'll explore so much more next time. But until then, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!